When Tesla stock goes down, there are some who begin to whine. Elon should shut up. The board isn't governing. Elon should step down. Elon isn't engaged. If only we had advertised. The Tesla engineers aren't really the best in the world. As with so much of this kind of whining, it completely disregards the amazing recent past. It pretends to have special knowledge of what is happening on the inside of Tesla, and it all goes mysteriously away when the stock gets back on track. Well, let's start with the biggest miss on the part of the mainstream media. Many analysts and not a few fair weather Tesla fans who would have you believe that the world has lost interest in BEVs and that the new hot tip might be hybrids. Rubbish. So this is Randy Kirk. Please hit like and subscribe and notify and all that stuff. And please also join Patreon. That'd be great if you could help to support the show. That's down in the information below, down in the description. You can find how you just click on that button. It takes you right over to Patreon. And when you join, you get free prizes like books or like the Cybertruck bottle opener, which you can also purchase for $25 if you'd like to. And that information is down below as well. Thank you so much for all the folks that are supporting the show, even if it's only to hit the like button. Did you forget? Do it now. All right. So now tomorrow morning. Yes, this is Sunday morning. It's not really, but it is Sunday morning to you. And there will be no Monday morning show tonight. In fact, it'll be a news show tonight. Because why? Because there's no market on Monday. And so on Monday night, we'll have Larry Goldberg help me do Tuesday morning, which we've never done that before with him as co-host. That could be very interesting fun. All right, let's talk about the BE revolution. It is alive. It's well. But for a host of reasons, the S-curve might not go straight up as it has been going. It could have a bump in it. You know, S-curves don't go up every month, every year, year after year, exactly at the same slope. So maybe it'll be a little less so this year. Maybe it'll only be a little less so in the United States, and it'll be fine in China. I don't know. But in no way does it imply that the future of the BEV has dampened in the least. Here is the key factor to consider. Everything else is second place. Write this one down. Make a copy of it. Go down into the transcript and grab it and send it to your friends. Here you go. When consumers are given a fully educated understanding, get that, fully educated understanding that they can choose a safer, quieter, well-appointed vehicle, better appointed vehicle that outperforms a similar ICE car on every single metric, but most importantly, their monthly out-of-pocket expenses, and that they give up nothing in convenience, such as overall time to charge, and that those vehicles cost less on the sticker and before government subsidies than the less powerful, less safe, less well-appointed vehicles that use fossil fuels and that require weekly trips to the gas station and annual trips for maintenance. When all that is fully educated, everybody gets that. Or at least the large majority of the population understands that. They're educated to those facts. The game will be over. Now, if that statement has holes in it, please tell me where the holes are so I can fix it, because I think that is indisputable. Now, here are three things to consider. The consumer needs to know what the cost is. I believe they don't. They currently see Teslas as expensive. They believe that they're an expensive luxury car. They don't realize they can lease one for $259,000. They don't realize they can buy one for between $30,000 and $40,000. In fact, even lower. They need to know, number two, that 90% of the charging will take place in their driveway. It's not a problem. It's so much easier than going over to the gas station and filling up once or twice a week. They need to know that the charging infrastructure provided Tesla is robust and reliable, and it's everywhere. If you're on a longer trip, even if you're just low on electricity and you're in the neighborhood around your home, believe me, there is a charging station nearby, and it will work 99% of the time, and it will be fast. You're not always going to fill up. Even filling up only takes about 20 minutes if it's a supercharger, but sometimes we just run in for 5 or 6, 7 minutes to get enough to get home. That's it. Simple. It's simple, straightforward. Again, where am I wrong? Those are the three things. That's what's keeping people from buying the cars. Yeah, 3 of them think that there's a fire problem, and 7 of them think that you have to buy a $7,000 battery or $12,000 or $20,000 battery after 100,000 miles. Yeah, there's a few idiots out there that haven't got a clue. But these are the 3 things that are keeping people from buying Teslas or buying BEVs in general, and they're solvable. Anyway, almost all humans are inclined to make practical decisions, especially if they have limited funds. Sure, the more money you have, you can choose based on status points or based on political opinions of the leadership of the company. Who would do that? Whether or not the product contributes to something harmful, you can make the decision based on that. Most people don't have that kind of free cash to make non-practical decisions. And the lower you go on that, the less money a person has to spend, the more folks who you get that are likely to be practical. So as the cost of Teslas come down and that major increase in folks that are just plain old middle class, not a bad place to be. I've spent most of my life being plain old middle class. There's nothing wrong with it. Those folks are going to be practical, and they're going to be buy things like I did, like Plymouth Valiants and Dodge Darts, So what about Tesla in 2024? Let's talk about Tesla in 2024, not just the whole BEV market. What about my investment, meaning your investment? You're in my investment. What about our investment or your potential to earn money in Tesla stock? What about that in 2024? Let's take a look at a few different kind of investors and see how each of those kinds of investors might be impacted in 2024. So let's say you're a day trader. Maybe you're looking for ways to profit off of many stocks. Tesla's just among them, and you're in and out of stocks. You trade sometimes a stock same day, or maybe you trade it a couple of days, but you're in and out of it based on what you're thinking is going on, based on the fact that you're arbitraging some of your knowledge, your specific knowledge of that stock or how that stock moves, etc. Well, we'll talk about that kind of trader in a minute. Or maybe number 2, maybe you're a trader. You're not a day trader, but you also use your arbitrage and you make longer term decisions, but you're still in and out of stocks all the time. And in the short and medium term. Number 3, maybe you're invested in Tesla, but you'd like to see some medium term gains. So you can put your kids through college or buy another piece of property or just, pay your Christmas bills, whatever it is, but you're not in it, for the long, long term, or at least not all of it. And sometime you'd like to get some out and spend it. Or maybe number 4, you're invested for the long term. You have no need for the money and you have no plans to get out anytime soon. So 4 different kind of traders. Well, let's take the first one. You're a day trader. There's no better stock for you to play. Everything about it moves so dramatically. The technicals play out nicely. And if you're really good at being detached from emotion, you can make money in multiple ways with the stock, with options, etc. I proved that in 2021, making 33 times my investment just doing day trading in Tesla. Hard on the nerves, but I made 33 times my investment. All right, now let's say maybe you're that second person. You're the trader. You're in and out, and you might be buying other stocks beside Tesla, and you're making short-term, medium-term bets. Well, where else could a smart trader have made triple their investment by buying last year in the low hundreds and selling out near 300? Maybe you didn't make the whole thing. Maybe you bought 150 and only sold out at 250 in 1 year. So if you're a middle-term trader, I think Tesla's a good place to be. And then, of course, you could have made something on the downside, too. You could have shorted the stock and taken it from 250 to 125, or just recently you could have gone from what was it from, forget, 250, 245, 255. Anyway, right around there, all the way down to 177. You could have made some money on the short side and then bought again at 177 and be already back up to 200 again. So for medium-term traders, there isn't no better stock out there for a medium-term trader. Now, if you're looking for some good gains in the next year or 2 years, so you can take some money out, I think you'll have some amazing moments to cash out some or all. Now, this is not investment advice, but I can see Tesla at $700 a share within 12 months or so. But it doesn't have to get to 1,200 or so. It can get back to 410, its all-time high, or maybe just 350. So if the street finally starts to see some of those earnings, we did a lot of catalysts in the show last night. If you want to go back and look at the show last night, I talked about Gary Black's 10 catalysts and my 10 catalysts. There's a bunch of things that could happen between now and the end of 2024 that could make the stock go absolutely nuts. Okay, what if you're a long-term investor? Of course, obviously, I think you'll end up with 10 times your money at some point, not that many years from now, and maybe way more than 10 times. So worrying about what Elon says or what the press says or doesn't say on any given day shouldn't give you a heart seizure. Of course, many of us, including me, are super competitive and we want our team to win. We don't want our team or our leader to be misrepresented or mischaracterized in the press. We're sad when things aren't going as planned. So it's normal to have these kinds of reactions, to be really upset, not worried, upset, maybe a little angry or incensed about what these things are happening. So it's normal. I have them. I've written 2 books and started a YouTube channel because I wanted to provide a counterbalance to all this negative stuff that's going on out there that doesn't impact the fundamentals of the company. But I don't worry about them. Believe me, none of it keeps me up at night. Well, there might be a few of you who trade like I do, though. I have the bulk of my assets in real estate and very safe investments. Then I have a nice chunk of change in Tesla stock, and that's not going to be touched for a very long time. I'm very likely to add to that pile. But I'm also adding to the safe pile at the same time. Then I have a play fund and options. Since the potential for outsized gain is in those options, those could sometime make me a lot of money, okay? So that's kind of the fun part. And maybe you're doing some of that as well. Anyway, here's my base case. Short of war, the complete breakdown of the world or the US economy, a black swan event of some kind that changes everything about transportation and energy and automation, Tesla is going to be the largest company in the world by a lot. And it's not going to be that long from now. That will eventually be fully recognized in the stock price. And those of us who have been patient will be the very big winners. Okay, as I mentioned yesterday, there was that special show. Got very, very good and very kind comments about the content in that show. It was an important show in terms of your understanding of the future impact of AI, AGI, and robotics, how everything's coming together, how transformers and how all of that stuff works, the physics of what's going on. It's amazing information. You want to go back and see that. I'm going to put that card right here. And then remember that tonight we'll have a regular news show like we do on Saturday. The kind of nobody else is doing the news on Saturday. Nobody else will be doing the news on the Sunday afternoon before in a 3-day weekend. So that's what we'll have tomorrow night. Hit the like button, hit subscribe, hit notify, join Patreon, and buy a Cybertruck bottle opener. It's been great talking to you.